Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to Online Study for You, a complete placement solution. So, friends, I know you are eagerly waiting for this video that is the TCS interview questions. So, today 9 a.m. the slots have been started, the schedule for the day started, and a couple of our students, like one had at 9 and another had at 9:40 around. So, we could collect the questions from them. So, we are sharing in this video. And important thing is that there are some certain ways of evaluating you. Okay, you may not be knowing these possibilities, but it is very important. The evaluation method, how they are evaluating with your answers, how they are understanding your behavioral skills with the answers, even the technical round question answers, everything we are going to discuss in this video. Okay, so watch this video if you are preparing for that, because there is some pattern changes and there is some differences that is happening. Okay, so let's start. So there are three rounds generally, specifically technical, manager, and HR. So at times we have seen that everything is combined, and at times we have seen it is scheduled for the different days with respect to the people's availability and all that. Okay, so here we have it combined. Okay, it's for IT and non-IT as well. So let me tell you the first important thing. These three things has a greater importance. I am telling it again and again, because tell me about yourself is like they don't know who you are, right? So what you are telling in your tell me about yourself has the enough things that may take you till the end of the interview. Okay, that means throughout the interview, what are the questions that you can get, how they want you to cross check whether you're fit for this, everything lies in that. Okay, so tell me about yourself. It's as a one time go. If you prepare for one time, then you can use it everywhere. So obviously just go for a very brief tell me about yourself. I'm repeatedly telling you, tell me about yourself should not exceed like beyond 1 minute. It should stay between like around 60 seconds. 30 to 60 seconds is the best thing to have. Okay, so include the important points and have your tell me about yourself. Next is the resume part. So resume part, most of the questions, not most, all of the questions were from resume, I would say, because the students were telling the same. Like, resume is having a greater importance. What are the technologies or the skills they have mentioned in the resume is what they are asking. Okay, so if you have mentioned something in resume, it's important that you should be prepared. Okay, you will be surely asked, so be prepared for that. Next is the project. So final year project is important, and in case if you are on that, then you will have some questions regarding the different type of project. Like some would have been attended some projects for some national level competitions, state level, and all that. So that also gives importance. So all the projects, whatever you have mentioned in resume, that is having equal importance. Okay. So anyway, projects means it's not technical knowledge of project alone. What was the implementation, if you were a team lead, and what was your role in the project, all these comes to the picture. Okay, so just prepare these three topics and you are very well to go. Like around 70 percentage of your preparation is done. Okay, so next we are going through different questions. Okay, different questions. I've just made a simple ppt. I want you or want these questions to be as made you available as early as possible. Okay, so some questions related to Java. For sure, Java has a greater importance. So most important feature of Java, this is actually a tricky question, I would say, because the features of Java, everything has got its own importance, right? Everything is important in their way or other. So the most important feature of Java, by asking that question, there is something beyond what they ask. That is how you are evaluating. Like there are different features, as I say, robust and all these things. But I would say, for me, what I think is the most important feature is that it is platform independent, right? The anywhere can be run. So when we are doing some anything, then it like softwares and all, it is a very good feature. So whichever feature that you're telling, maybe you may be remembering some other features at that time. So whichever feature that you are explaining, you have to relate it. Okay, you, it is not like okay, this is it. okay, robust or platform independent. Not like that. You have to relate it very much. This is because of this. So most scenario for the software development field is something like this. So it is much suitable for that. So likewise, you have to answer. It is not theoretical, my friends. Like it is not the answer you are giving like your university examination. It's not like that. To give some theoretical answer, just write something else and just end it there. It's not like that. You have to put the practical scenarios in. Okay, so that's how you answer. So it's like they're asking you some features of Java itself, but in this way. If you feel like a couple of is important, then you can tell the couple of things which I find important is like that you can answer. Okay. Next is difference between static public void main and public static void main. How tricky is this? Just imagine. Okay. So I want you to Google this answer. Okay. I want you to find this answer because this answer is very simple and it has not got that much importance to pinpoint and ask. But still they're asking you because that gives the picture of how well you know about the subject, how well you know about the each and every simple things about the coding and all. Okay, next, call by reference and value with example. This is a very mandatory question that every interviews is having because it has its own importance. Now you may not be knowing it, but once you get into a job, then you will understand, the importance of that in developing field. Okay, so call by reference and value, I would say just don't give some call by reference means like this, call by value means like this. I would say don't give answers like that. You can give one line definition for sure, but I want you to give some examples or practical reasons, like in this kind of coding or in this kind of programs you can make use of like this, you can make use of like this, like that you have to give it. Okay, so that is a very good impression you are ready for this practical world. That's what that shows. Okay, next is what is JVM. JVM is important, the topic. So JDK, JVM, those kind of things you should know. Just understand what it is and how it is connected. All these things, just understand. It's very, very important. What are constructors? So constructor, then pillars of Java, oops concept, all these things are important. As I already mentioned, I'm just taking the question that came up. All these are interrelated topics, all these comes under base topics, so it's very important. And you may have to give an example with a code or something like that about the constructor. Okay, so you must be ready for that as well. Next is what is malloc function. So what is that? You can give that. It is very good to give examples every time. It is very good to give that. Just have the habit of giving examples for every questions. Okay, then different data types that can be in C++ or Java, whatever it is. Here the question came from C++. Okay, then linked is programming example. They told them to give a programming example, so you can just start by explaining the logic if they just ask you something. But in case if they told you to write the program, then you have to go for the program code itself. Now while loop and do while loop, what is the difference? So I have given a simple example for that. You can see while loop is also termed as entry control loop, the do while loop is termed as an exit control loop. So similarly you have to explain. Okay, if possible just go with an example, like the same example, same kind of example, that is if this condition is put into, if this is put into while, this will be the output. Whereas if this is put into do while, then this will be the output. Like that, give an example and explain. Okay, now oops concept in C++. So you may think when we are in that interview, we'll be obviously having fear inside us. So at that panic moment, we'll be thinking, oops concept in C++, how is that related? Because we have heard like oops concept with Java, right? So it's basically asking the oops concept only, but they are just making you sure. I mean, that firmness and knowledge is what getting evaluated. Next is important STLC spaces. Every steps of STLC has it got its own importance. So in this question, what they want you to, what they want you to tell, what they're asking is that what are the different phases of STLC and its importance. Okay, it's a reverse question that they have, so we have to tell these are the different STLC phases. So it has every steps has got in its own importance, because skipping of anything will definitely result the collapse of the other, right? So you can tell this is why this phase is important and this is why this phase is important. Similarly, you have to make the answer for those questions. Okay, so those are the kind of technical rounds that came up. And next is a couple of HR level questions, like manager and HR level questions. So project phases and problems. So you will be asked to tell you about your project for sure. So tell about your project. So if there is something that you are not providing clarity, then if you're like unsure of things what you're explaining in the technical related, they will deep dive into that. Okay, and if they find interesting also, they will deep dig into it. If not, the next HR level questions will be project phases and problems. That is, what were the different phases of your project? That gives a clear idea of how you are handling things. Okay, most of the projects will be bought from market. I mean, from companies. We buy the project and submit it. So they're just understanding how you have participated in that. So different, stages you have to, like idea formulation, summing up the teams, idea formulation, then uh, pros and cons, and looking for the functionalities which can be added to your main idea, like that goes on. You have to go for that. And problems, what were the drawbacks you were facing during the project implementation? So you can give a couple of drawbacks. And importantly, mark this word, if you are providing any kind of negative thing like problems or drawbacks, weaknesses, whatever it is, you have to tell something that you have implemented to overcome that. Okay, for example, if this was your problem while you're facing the project time, then you have to tell this was my problem and we could solve this, and this was very important problem for us, so we could solve this by this mechanism. This is what you have to, this is the way you have to answer, solution oriented. Okay, now milestones for next 10 years. So they want you to tell like what you will be doing in this 10 years. You can tell like first 2 3 years I'll be understanding the industry, I'll be finding my domain, and I'll be starting to go for that, and then forming your next years will be forming your knowledge in that, like that. Okay, so next 10 years, what is your short term goals, everything you have to, you can just make a brief pattern on that. Then TCS known for company knowledge is very, very important. It's not about TCS alone. Any of the company interviews you are attending, you need to know the company knowledge. Okay, so what is TCS known for? So you have to tell about the company, what they're doing and what they're good at and what they're famous at. Recently, there are so many news coming about TCS. You can include that so that they will think, okay, you are up to date. Okay, now most important quality you believe to have in a fresher. So that is important. I would say learning quality you should never forget. You can add up your quality as you like. Okay, but learning quality you should focus. Okay, what attracted you to IT industry? This was one of the questions that came to a non-IT student. So what attracted you to IT? You can make your own answers. Okay, it's according to you, but I would not recommend you to give the answer like uh you I mean the salary package or the much more, there is no other job for other industries, only IT is having a job, so that I switched in here. Just don't give that kind of answers. You can give, you can tell the same very own answer in different ways, right? So just go for that. Okay, so you find interesting, so that you came into here. And the employment opportunity in IT sector attracted me. What the industry is doing, work experience, how the IT sector is working, the practical industry world. I got very much attracted to that, so I thought of switching into this, like that and all. You can explain. Okay, so that's how you have to answer each and every question. So I would say you should be, at the moment. Okay, be present at that moment. You may have fears, but don't think about the fear. You will be trembling, I can guess. You'll be trembling out of fear, but don't give that attention to the fear. You just give attention to the moment, like the questions, and always keep in mind you should answer end to end answer, like positive one. And one more important thing, like as I told, you should give end to end answer. Don't drag your answers as well. I have seen some students who do give a very lengthy answer to all of the questions, which may be a little bit boring for, and which will be dramatic. I mean, a pre-fixed kind of, prepared kind of answer, by hearted kind of answer. Just don't go for that. Just let it flow. Okay, that too a very brief and precise answer you have to give. Okay, so I hope this video is pretty useful for you. We'll come up with another questions, another after sessions, we'll come up with more of the questions as we get as soon as possible. So everybody, all the best, prepare yourself, be confident. And you may have the fear, but don't give attention to that fear for that just 15 or 20 minutes. Just don't give attention to your fear. Just be in that moment, just think on the words that they are asking you, and be mindful about the words that you're telling. Okay, so all the best everyone. Everybody just perform very good on your interview. Until I be back again, everybody stay safe, stay happy, and stay tuned to online study for you.